There are 8,116 cities, towns and villages in Spain, all with their fiestas that celebrate their local folklore or patron saint. How have these celebrations evolved from being simple parties to global attractions? What is it about our Spanish fiestas that means we can't live without them? Today, we're going to explore 4 of these Spanish parties, and we'll see them from a different point of view. I'm starting my journey around the festivals of Spain in Buñol, in the heart of Valencia. With a population of around 10,000, life here is quiet, much like any other small Spanish town. The Church of St. Peter's has presided over centuries of peace in this part of Valencia. The locals are in no hurry, and the older folk pass their time sitting in their doorways. So this is Buñol, where people chat in the street, have coffee on the terraces, a haven of peace and tranquility. But in less than 24 hours, 20,000 people will fill the town to celebrate one of the most curious battles of all Spain. May I? This is not a century-old celebration. In fact, it started just 68 years ago. And what's curious is that the people here like throwing things at each other. I guess something like this. See how much fun they are? They take everything really well, and I think it must have started like that, a food fight between neighbours. Today, people come from all over the world to celebrate the great festival of La Tomatina, and its protagonist, the tomato. In less than 24 hours, the Tomatina, the biggest tomato fight on the planet, starts. And here they're doing the final preparations for a party they've spent months organising. I'm in Josa, in Castellón, to see how the thousands of tons of tomatoes thrown at this event are loaded and transported. I'll haunt you till you say you do. Now they're filling these trucks with 130 tons of tomatoes. And if there are 10 tomatoes per kilo, then I reckon 130,000 kilos means 1,300,000 tomatoes, all to be thrown in the streets of Buñol. It's quite some battle that awaits us. I should follow my feeling and go back where I belong. In 1980, the local council decided to make the party official. And soon it became an event that brought people from all over the world. So, it needs a lot of organising. In charge of the operation is José Ramón Mechol. José Ramón, good morning. So, what's happening right now?
Well, we're loading the tomatoes for the Tomatina. The process is this. We plant them in April and harvest them in August. And in the past, instead of loading them into trucks, they were used for 40 to 50 million kilos of canned tomatoes.
And the same tomato goes into the cans that's used in the Tomatina?
The same, yes.
OK. And how long have you been doing this?
About 20 years.
Right, 20 years. And there's a special harvest for the Tomatina, or...?
Yes, it's a special one for the Tomatina. What happens is that not all the tomatoes ripen at the same time, so we pick the ones that ripen first, and we call them the soy tomatoes, and then we leave the rest for the Tomatina.
And you live the passion of the Tomatina as part of it, or you're just responsible for organising it?
No, I'm 61. When I was 18, every day I'd load 1 million or 2 million tomatoes up to 20 years ago, for canning.
And when did you start preparing all this?
Well, we started the harvest on August the 16th. We store them in there, because we can't take any risks. First, they have to be very mature, and second, we can't collect them later than a couple of days before, in case bad weather comes and we don't have any tomatoes. They'd hang me if that happened.
So we've seen how 130 tons of tomatoes are loaded into trucks to come to Buñol. But I was wondering how all this got started. Hello Pilar, how are you?
Fine, thanks.
I'm meeting two of the founders of La Tomatina, who lived the birth of this fiesta firsthand. So how did it start?
Well, it began in the strangest way you can imagine. You know, it's fun throwing things. Groceries, tomatoes, onions.
The neighbours at each other?
Yes, a street fight we had as kids, and some of the older ones.
You did it for some reason, or was it just for fun?
Oh, just for fun.
Kids, eh, Pilar?
Oh, yes.
So then you started to fight with the tomatoes in the street, a big food fight.
And it got bigger, until the city council got involved to ban it.
And why was that?
Well, for one thing, it wasn't actually very festive. People and the buildings got dirty, and people didn't like that at first. The people in Barcelona.
And we were pretty annoyed.
Well, because they banned it.
So that night, we all agreed that we were going to do a funeral for the tomato, and we told all the neighbours.
We told everybody, exactly.
Yes, everyone.
And we got white handkerchiefs and onions to make ourselves cry.
Crying like it was a
We
funeral.
played funeral marches, everybody crying.
Without planning anything.
Everyone improvising.
More and more people came dressed in black. We dug a hole and buried the tomato.
And we put the tomato in, and everyone crying as if we were really burying it.
And that was that.
And from then the Tomatina was accepted again.
Yes, the next year they saw it was a fiesta that had to be celebrated.
And you still go to the Tomatina?
No, not anymore. Now I just throw water.
Not since I was 70.
In the house, I fill the bath, and my children and my grandchildren, we throw water at everyone, always looking for anyone who's still dry.
That's so naughty.
Well, you know.
What a great sense of humour the people of Buñol have. Voltran might be 80, but he keeps the festive spirit of the Tomatina alive. The locals who were against it in the past now help out, covering up their houses to protect them from the approaching torment of tomatoes. Evening is falling, and it's less than 12 hours to the start of the Great Tomatina. You can see the streets beginning to fill with people, the buildings covered up. And this year there's something new at the Tomatina. For the first time, you have to pay to get in. We're going to meet the top man of the Tomatina. Good afternoon, Rafa. Good afternoon. So how do people feel about having to pay for a party that previously was something they did themselves? Well, people of the town are fine about it. Actually, a lot of people wanted it, to set a limit, I think. The idea was that, especially in the days leading up to it, people were heading out to Buñol, and that's not right. What we wanted is that the people of Buñol could enjoy their Tomatina, because it's their party, you know? And I've been told a little secret. I've been told that the Koreans are coming this year to meet you, because they want to export this party to their country. Yes, they do. And they'll set it up right. They have their festival of mud. So we're going to twin our town, Buñol, with Buñol, a town with lots of people. And we're pretty sure we're going to do a Tomatina there. Are you going to tell them how to do all this there? Oh, yeah, yes, and they're very methodical, very purist. So they want to do it with the same tomatoes we do, just the way we want. And the truth is, that's very important. Long before the Tomatina was declared an event of international interest, back in the 80s, the celebration was no more than a quirky local news story. For exactly one festive hour, 60,000 kilos of tomatoes will be thrown by locals and visitors alike. Not long now until the first light of dawn, and Buñol's big day is about to begin. At 4 a.m, the safety measures are put in place, with more than 500 agents responsible for dealing with any problems on the streets of Buñol. Many participants have decided to spend the night, well, right where the action will be. At 9:30, the area where the great tomato celebration takes place is opened, and people arrive bit by bit, until the streets are crammed with people anxiously waiting for the Tomatina to start. We're just half an hour from the start of the Tomatina tomato fight. 6 trucks containing 1,300,000 tomatoes are about to drive down Buñol's main street, where the battle takes place. Today is the day of La Tomatina, so let's get ready to enjoy 20,000 people chucking tomatoes at each other. Two, one, and the Tomatina begins. Tomatoes come at you from all sides, I mean, from everywhere. It really is a battle. We're coming into the town square. I don't know if I'll make it out alive, but, well, we could try. I've got tomatoes coming at me from everywhere. Stop! We're reaching the end of the route. After an hour-long tomato fight, the world's biggest tomato war is coming to an end. And on a balcony in the distance, I can see my friend Voltran up to no good. Little by little, the security staff clear the streets. And as the streets empty, the least pleasant part of the party, the clean-up. The roads, pavements and buildings are swept and mopped to remove all traces of tomato. It's a hard task, but all the residents of Buñol join in to get the town back to how it usually looks. We've made it to the end of the Tomatina, and it's been great fun. I'm taking a shower to wash off the tomato, but today we experienced one of the most popular fiestas in Spain. Here in Spain at Ras de Cielo, in the Tomatina, Buñol's great tomato fight, which will be a day I'll never forget.